holiday season is fast upon us, and consumers are flocking to stores to pick up gifts for friends and family. But thanks to labor shortages, consumers may be greeted with empty shelves this holiday season instead. The New York Times article, "Retailers Scramble to Attract Workers Ahead of the Holidays," describes the extreme lengths retailers have gone to meet rapidly rising demand. Some workers aren't ready to go back. Government incentives like stimulus checks, the ever-present risk of the pandemic, and an upcoming vaccine mandate for companies have dissuaded many from returning to the workplace.
The economic concept at the root of this retail complication is supply and demand. When the pandemic hit, many in-person workers were laid off because of a lack of demand for in-person shopping. As the post-pandemic holiday season approaches, demand for goods will rise dramatically, and businesses need to prepare. In past years, large retailers like Walmart increased supply of workers typically through encouraging existing workers to work extra hours. But this solution will not meet demand this year due to pandemic layoffs. Instead, businesses will need to undergo large hiring blitzes.
As we know, the pandemic has resulted in many Americans losing their jobs, and a K-shaped recovery has meant lower-paying retail jobs have had a slower recovery compared to higher-paying jobs. The upcoming holiday season is forecasted to be at pre-pandemic levels, and as a result of this, businesses are struggling to find workers for these minimum wage jobs. This is in part due to government aid in the form of stimulus packages, resulting in minimum wage workers making more money staying at home compared to if they were to continue working their jobs. Fear of catching COVID due to exposure at work, and vaccine mandates resulting in workers opting to stay home.
And while the unemployment rate has dropped from 4.8 to 4.6%, thanks to these issues, labor participation rate has stayed level at 61.6%, meaning that the existing labor pool is stretched thin. In order to combat low labor pool participation rate, major retailers like Macy's, Amazon, Nordstrom, and Saks Off Fifth have increased their minimum wages, introduced new employee benefits, and increased flexibility of hours among other incentives in hopes of attracting new workers.
The lesson to be learned here is to avoid labor shortages such as this in the future. Pre-pandemic retail workers were not valued and often underpaid and overworked. COVID has resulted in workers realizing that, resulting in them being pickier to find companies who will fairly compensate them. Incentives that retail companies have offered for the holiday season must be implemented in some degree year-round, as well as COVID safety policies to avoid labor problems like these in the future.